What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to another Pantheon tutorial with me, JD, my cup of coffee. Hopefully going to bring you guys some good information. Today we're going to be covering macros, how you make them, how you use them, what you can do to customize all of it. I don't know how well it's going to go, but we're going to attempt to deliver some vital information to you guys about how to make your life in Pantheon a little easier through the use of macros. I don't know how well this recording is going to go because I'm going to once again try doing something I've never done with a lot of pausing and stopping and going. So if it looks like crap, forgive me. Hopefully there's no spoilerinos in this one. We'll see how it goes. But let's get into it right quick with macros. And we're going to start off by moving right up here. What's going on, everybody? Future JD here. It is now, I think, 2 days after I've recorded the video that you're about to watch covering macros and commands. But I've got a couple of big announcements I want to make, and I want to let you guys be in on the know of this. So let's get a little swig of Big D energy here. And I wanted to let you guys know, if you're not a part of my stream community over on Twitch, over the past weekend, I gave away 10 Steam account keys to play Pantheon. And prior to this, we've given away several supporter packs back in the pre-EA version of Pantheon. I've really enjoyed doing this. It's had a massive, impact on my community. It's made a lot of people really happy. And we are in the season of giving. We have Christmas just around the corner. So, in lieu of that, announcement number one is I will be giving away at least 10 more Steam keys this coming weekend, the weekend of December the 20th, over on Twitch TV/JDon77. So stop by, try to win yourself a key. Let your friends and family know about it. If you've got a friend that's been wanting to get the game and hasn't gotten in yet, if you're tired of waiting on a buddy key, or, if you just want a second account, maybe you'll win it, who knows. Stop by and hang out with us, and we'll see if we can't get you a Steam key. To put it in perspective, I think the past 10 keys that we've given out have had 50 entries or less in the contest. We've had about 200 people on the stream, and only around 50 have gone after the account, so come take a shot at winning an account. Now that's announcement number one, and I hope some of you take advantage of that and that you get a new shiny account and join our community and have a great time. Announcement number two is a little bit bigger and much more important, and this is the part that I really wanted to let everybody know about. This is the part that's close to my heart. So I've been feeling this burden on my heart to give, to help, right? And so what I've decided to do, because my community's been growing really well over the past month, is all proceeds that I earn over on Twitch from December 1st through December 31st, everything, whether it's a sub, whether it's a bits, setup, whether it's a donation, doesn't matter. Whatever I earn on Twitch, I'm going to be donating everything from that to either Extra Life or Child's Play, or Children's Play. I think it's Child's Play. Children's gaming charities. At the end of the year, I'm going to do it either in a video or on stream or on both. I'm going to pick one of those two charities, and I'm going to take everything that I earn from my community, 100% of it. I'm going to show how much I earned on screen, and I'm going to donate that to one of those two charities to give back to them, to get more kids involved in video games and letting them have the opportunity to just have some happiness in their lives. I say this because I know that there's a lot of people that causes like that are important to, and it's near and dear to their hearts. So if you want to take part in that, come see me, come help a good cause, come be a part of our community. All of that said, I hope you guys are doing wonderful. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get back to the video. I'll see you soon. Have a great day. To the top of the screen, and actually I'm going to come over to my software here. I think we have it all enabled. Let's see if this works today. I tried to do something nice for you guys, but the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on, is it going to work? Oh, yeah, there we go. We're going to zoom in right over here, top left. We're going to click this button. It's going to do a little fly out, okay? And when you do so, if you come right over here, you're going to get a macros menu. We're going to click on this menu to open up the macros. Now, mine was already open. Within this macros menu, you have a couple of options. You can right click this thing. You can set it to where it has a high opacity that never goes away. You can lower the opacity so that only the button shows. You can lock its position so that it cannot be drug and move around. And you can tell it to show the frame. This is not quite working right now, but it'll be okay. So the other thing that we could do is let's turn our opacity up. We could scale this to make it very large if you wanted big buttons, or you can make it very tiny if you want tiny buttons. It's totally up to you and the UI settings that you have in place for your macros. Okay, so that's step one, is opening the macros menu. Now, I tend to keep my macros right down here in the lower section of my screen, just above my chat. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out real quick. So I tend to keep my macros right here. Now, this window is draggable. You can adjust the size of it. Why would you want to do that? Well, if we start making a few macros, and I'm just going to make a few blank ones for a minute here. By clicking this plus, each time you click plus, it's going to add a new button into your macros, right? And so this window will size dynamically for how you want your macros to appear. Okay, you can make it a horizontal bar, vertical bar. You can make it, 2x3, 3x2, whatever you want. I tend to go with something like this, or even something like this. Okay. All right, had to talk to my son for a moment. So let's continue. Now we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put the opacity back down. This is just how I like for my buttons to look. So it just shows the buttons, but obviously as I move my mouse back in, the window comes into view. Now, in the future, what should happen is if you have show frame unchecked, the frame should not show at all, but that's okay. Once again, you can scale up the size of your buttons if you would so choose. We're going to leave ours at 100 and we're just going to click save. All right. So I've got some macros made. What if I don't like a macro? What if I don't want this macro? Well, right click it. It will open this macro settings window. Okay. And inside of the macro settings window, there is a remove button. You just click this remove and you can see that the macro has disappeared. I'll do it again right here. Remove and it's gone. So what type of things would you want to make buttons for? Well, let's say that I wanted to check who all was online in my guild, and I don't want to type out that command every time. So I can make a guild macro. I can type /who space all guild. Okay, you can type it in however you want. I prefer it to be typed in like this. I can close this, and now when I click this button, it will execute the who all guild command and bring up the social panel, and I can see that every one of these players that are online is in my guild. Okay, the same thing would happen if I typed in the chat who all guild. There we go. All right. What would be another use of a macro? Well, what if you wanted to get your location? Okay. So let me turn off my chat panel here. We're getting buffs. We're getting the super buffs from Balcor of Forge, because Forge brings the light to the darkest night. All right. So let me turn off this chat cover for just a minute here. I forget which image that is. Hang on. I think it's this one. And this one. There we go. All right. So once we turn that off, if I type in /LOC, which is short for location, okay, /loc, you'll see that we get a series of coordinates. That's showing our X, Y, Z, and I don't know what the other location is, coordinates on the map. It's saying that this is a way to coordinate where we are in the world with regards to the map. Okay. Why is that useful? Well, when you die, if you don't know where you are, you can type /LOC and get a loc, and then you can run along and find your way back to it. Because as I move, right, if I start moving this way and I put LOC in again, you will see that this number changed. So did this number. If I move in a straight line on a cardinal axis, only one of those numbers will change. So having a /LOC macro might be a good thing to have. So we'll just put loc right here, LOC, and put /LOC right here. And now instead of having to type that in, I can spam it. Yay, we can spam it. Okay. Now, eventually, these macros are going to be able to be put on hotkeys or potentially on our hotbars. And there's a whole lot of different uses for it. Let's talk about what some of the other uses for macros are. All right. So as I've already shown, you can enter commands into your macros. Another command you might want to enter into your macros would be something like the sit command. And there's a whole list of basic commands that I'm going to pop up on the screen right here. And so you can check those out. We have things like auto attack, camp, the consider command, low position, which are the same thing, time, TOD, zone name, quit, exit, stuck and unstuck. We'll look at what a few of those do. For example, TOD is time of day. It puts the current hour in the world into your chat. Zone name will just tell you what zone you're in. Loc and position do the exact same thing. Different ways of achieving the same command. But why would you want something like sit on the bar? Because you can already press X to sit. Well, the reason would be something like, if you notice, if you spam X, it takes a little bit to sit up or to stand up and sit down. There's a delay, there's a GCD in place. But when you have it as a macro right now, for whatever reason, you can spam this. Okay, you can see that I'm very quickly going between sitting and standing. So that's a very good use of a macro if you're trying to very quickly sit and stand to get into your resting state sooner or get out of it. Okay. All this is sit/sit, right? It's very simple. Okay, so what else are there besides the basic commands? Well, there are also a series of group commands. Group commands you can see on the screen now. Arthix, I would never do such a thing, sir. So what types of group commands are there? Well, there's /assist, which will allow you to assist the group member you're targeting. There's /invite space name, which would allow you to invite a person to party. So for example, I could /assist Noxian, right? Now, right now, I don't think that Noxian is targeting anything. So, well, oh, we can't do it because I've got the macro open. You can't type while you have a macro window open, by the way. But we could type /assist, and if he had a target, I would assist him. So let's give him a target right quick. So let's come over to Noxian. Let's have Noxian target an NPC or something. Noxian is now targeting Balcor. Is there an enemy around here that we can target? Let's go look. Right here, there's a Howler Pup. All right. So we've got Noxian standing right here. He's targeting a Wolf Pup. We'll come back over to Jadian. So I'll target I've got Noxian as my defensive target. I'm going to drop my offensive target, but there we go. So we're just going to type /assist, and you can see that I acquire the Gray Howler Pup as my target. Or we could have a macro, right? Assist. Now you've got a couple of choices about how you do this. We could type /assist, like so. And now when clicking the button, if I have Noxian targeted, it will assist him. This is the most abstract form in which it will assist whoever your defensive target is. Your defensive target is this blue one. Okay, we could make it more specific. We could say, I want it to assist Noxian. Now, it doesn't matter if I have him targeted at all. Whatever he's got targeted, I'm going to assist, but it's not going to change my defensive target. So I can keep myself targeted. Right now, I'm my defensive target, and I can still assist him. Another way that we might want to do this is we might want to use assist. We can do target group member 1. Okay, now what this does, before I do anything, I'm going to come back to this in a minute. This is going to target me. I'm group member 1. Okay, but I could say that I always am going to be putting my main assist into, because you can move your group members around via these arrows. I'm going to always assist target group member 2. So I'm going to target group member 2. I'm going to apply /assist, and then I'm going to target group member 1 to put myself back on me. Or I could say 3. Let's say that's the main tank. I always want to go back and target my tank. He's always going to be in slot 3, right? You can make macros that move between the targets. So what's going to happen right now, I have no target. It's going to target Noxian, assist him, and then target me. All in one button click. Just like that. Now, you never saw me acquire Noxian as a target. It happened very rapidly. But I basically targeted Noxian, assisted him, and then targeted myself all in one button click. So your macros can get very advanced. Now, what we could do to kind of show this off is we could put a /wait 5. Okay. So now let's see what happens. So /assist. I did target Noxian. It's waiting 5 seconds. It's going to assist. Then it's going to target me. Okay, so we can get very advanced in our macro setups. But as you can see by the commands that I'm going to be showing on the screen right here, assist, invite, kick, disband, leave, /leader, loot mode, skip looter, target group member, LFG. These are all group-based commands. What do they do? Well, assist, I've just shown you what assist does. Invite, just invite somebody to your party. /kick will kick somebody from your party. Disband will disband the party. /leave will let you leave the party. /leader lets you change who the leader of the party is. /leader space Noxian, for example, would make him the leader of our party. Loot mode, there are 3 loot modes at the moment. There is free-for-all, there is round robin, and there is master looter. So /loot mode space round would set it to round robin. If you're in round robin, and let's say you're waiting on someone to loot and they just won't loot, you've been waiting forever, you could always do /skip looter, and it would skip that person's turn and go on to the next person. And then obviously /target group member. That is what is meant by TGM. That lets you target a group member. Now you don't have to do the number, by the way. You can set target group member to be a name. It takes multiple arguments. So this macro will work the same. Using the number slot keeps it generic. Using the name makes it very specific. But I could tell my macro to target Noxian, assist him, and then target myself, or target Noxian, assist him, and target someone else, right? So that's what target group member means. And then LFG is obviously /LFG, which I can't look for a group right now because I'm in a group. But basically what it does is if you press L, this brings up the looking for group social panel, and it checks this box to say, hey, I'm looking for group. Okay, so that's what LFG does. That's all of the group commands. Now, there was a question just asked in Twitch chat right quick. Is there a way to assign macros to a key, or do you always have to click them? Currently, we cannot assign hotkeys to macros, and we cannot put macros on our hotbars. That is something we are hoping to get in the future, but right now, we cannot do that. They have to be clicked. It sucks, but it is the way that it is. That doesn't mean macros are useless. They're just not quite as robust as we would like them to be. Okay? So we're done talking about group commands. Let's wipe those off. And now let's talk about guild commands. So right here, these are your guild commands. Now you're probably not going to use a lot of guild commands in macros, but if you happen to be of the less scrupulous type, right, we could make a guild invite macro that is open-ended that we could just run around and spam people with guild invite. And every person I targeted, I could just run by and hit them with the guild invite. And I could say, we could even put a line in here that says, /S. Hey, buddy. Forge is recruiting. Join up today, right? And I could run around and I could target people and I could spam them with this. And it would say, hey, buddy, Forge is recruiting. Join up today. Don't do this. There could be very serious repercussions for going around and doing spam invites and blind invites. It has been an issue in the past. It can be seen as harassment. So don't do it. It's just bad. But just showing you could do something like that. That is a way that we could do it. Now, another way that you might actually use it as a macro is you could put guild roster in here. Okay, this is another way of seeing who's in your guild, right? So we'll call this GR, Guns N' Roses. Wait, that would need an N in it. Anyway, GR basically prints out a list into your chat of every member that's in the guild, whether they're online or not. But not only that, it shows their rank, okay? So guild roster will show you who all's in your guild and their rank. You can do /guild remove to remove people from your guild, guild promote to promote them to officers. There's invite guild, guild invite. There's also guild disband. Don't type guild disband unless you want your guild to go. I think that can only be typed by the leader. There was a bug, but it's only the leader now. There's guild demote if you want to remove people from officership roles. That's about the extent of the guild controls in the game right now. And there's not a whole lot of use for those guild controls and commands within the macros, but I've shown you a couple examples of those. So let's wipe away the guild commands and let's go on to the next one. The next one is going to be pet commands. So pet commands are on the screen now. Now this might be an area where you want to do stuff with some macros. So we've obviously got pet attack and pet kill. Those are fairly self-explanatory. You're going to send your pet into combat. It's going to go kill some things. You've also got pet back off, pet back, pet calm, which is supposed to tell your pet to stop attacking. It doesn't always work. Your mileage may vary. They are working on these. It didn't work the last time I used it. I've had other people say that it does, but could be useful. Pet follow, which tells your pet to follow you. Pet stay, which will make your pet stay in one spot. Pet guard, which will tell your pet to guard you, meaning if anything happens to attack you, it will begin attacking it, but it won't offensively go out on its own. Pet select, which will select which pet to give commands to. Why would that matter? Because summoners get 2 pets. Pet deselect, pet unselect will just deselect a pet. I need to test something with this pet select command. I need to see if pet select with pet name works, because that could be huge for certain scenarios that I've been messing around with. I didn't realize pet select was a command until just now. And then pet dismiss and pet despawn will get rid of your pet. Why would you want to do that? Well, for example, necromancers, when they summon their pet, there's a random range of levels of what pet you may end up with. And if you're trying to get your top level pet, you might want to be able to get rid of it really quickly and just summon again. So you could combine the casting of the summon and the pet dismiss. Like as soon as you dismiss it, summon another one. You could do something like that. So that is an option. So why would we want to use some of these commands in macros? Well, I'll answer that in 1 second. I got a question in the chat right quick. Question is, do you think they will ever have a guild window similar to like the LFG window so that you can see the people online in the guild, etc.? They are absolutely going to have a guild window under the social tab. In fact, in Joppa's stream that happened just yesterday, he commented how the guild window is high up on their list of things to do to get implemented as soon as possible. So we will see a guild window in the game before too long. Spec Ionic, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate you, buddy. Let's keep going. We're going to talk about how we might use some of the pet commands in a macro. So one of the ways we might use a pet command in a macro, so we'll just call this pet example. So pet example /pet attack, and we could put something else in there to extend this to say in group, right? So /G, sending my pet to attack %T. And this would basically, every time I told my pet to attack, let's say I had the gray wolf targeted. So if I hit pet example, I had a pet. I pushed the wrong button. Hang on. I didn't do it right. It's pet kill. I guess pet attack no longer works. Did they deprecate it? Let's try this one. Oh, they took it out. Oh, wait. No. I know what happened. because I hit shift enter. There you go. So sending my pet to attack Gray Howler Pup. So what we're doing there is we're using an alias or a variable. You can call these a lot of different names, where %t is whatever I have targeted. So pet kill works. We could change this back to pet attack. I had a shift enter for my line break. That's why I was not sending the command through. And there we go. We can see that it works. If I were to change my target to Noxian, it will now say sending my pet to attack unknown, because I do not have an offensive target. So that's one way we might use a pet command. There are other ways we might use it as well. You can come up with them. The creative part of this is all on you. All right, so that's it in terms of what we're going to discuss with pet commands and macros. So we're going to get rid of those, and we're going to bring about I guess we could call these kind of your social commands, right? So these commands are friend, unfriend, trade, cancel trade, emote, EM, and me, which are actually not in the game right now. We've tried to make these work, but it would be something like emote flexes in sexiness. I can't spell sexiness. We'll just call it in sexy style, because I don't want to spell right now. But we can see that did not work. Okay. So the emote commands are not in. They will be at some point. But you could do something instead like flex, which would let you do an emote. I guess that's not working. Laugh. Wave. There we go. Wave is working. Okay. Y. Shrug. There you go. We can shrug. There's some very notorious emotes. I'm not going to tell you what they are, but there are some notorious emotes. Anyway, so there's also /lay. Lay down, sleep. Those don't work right now. But then you've already seen we've used /sit, right? And we've also got a sit command, where we've already shown the usefulness of a sit command macro right here. Okay. And then there is also, aside from sitting, we could type / I forgot you can't type while the macro window's open. We could type /stand, if I can spell. And that would stand up. So those are your basic, I guess we could call them more social commands in the game. From here, we kind of get into, I guess what we would call these is more utility or miscellaneous commands. So let's get rid of the pets. We'll bring on the utility and the miscellaneous commands real quick. All right, so let's talk about these utility and miscellaneous commands. So anonymous, Anon, what does that do? Well, right now, if I do /who Noxian, it'll tell me this is a level 6 Ogre Shaman. But I want to be a role player. I don't want you to know anything about me, or I just want to be left alone. So if I type /Anon, I am now anonymous. Okay. Who? Noxian. Nothing comes back. Nothing comes back when I do this who command now. There's nothing in the list. If I come in here and I put, there's Noxian, if I refresh that, he's gone. He doesn't show up in the list anymore. So you can hide yourself from the who search if you don't want people to be able to find you and message you or harass you, or really if you're just trying to hide because you want to be left the heck alone. So /Anon or /Anonymous will take care of that for you. And you can even, of course, come over here and make yourself a whole new macro that says, I am Batman. And go Anon. And now you're Batman and nobody knows who you are. It's great. All right, there's also Drag Corpse. Drag Corpse is one of the biggest ones. There's lots of ways to manage Drag Corpse, but generally what's going to happen is if somebody dies, they might need you to pull their body back to a safe spot to have it resurrected. Where might this come in handy? Well, you could always just have a drag Jadion. And now if I wanted to, let's say I didn't know where my body was, lost my body, right? I could just run around spamming, lost my body, until a corpse nearby attached to me and started following me around, right? So there's lots of ways that macro might come in handy. I actually had to use that one time when one of my bodies got stuck under the world in an early playtest. There is obviously random, roll, rand, and R&D. So what does that do? Well, if you just type R&D, nothing. But if you type R&D 100, you'll roll a dice between 0 and 100. Good luck to you in all your rolls. May your dice be loaded and always collect the loot for you. Refund mastery points is not currently in the game because mastery points are not currently in the game. Mastery points are the system that is based around basically your talents or your AA if you come from EverQuest, in which you gain bonus benefits to your skills. So for example, under the mesmerize line, 1 point would reduce it by 20%, 4 points would reduce it by 50%, 2 points would reduce it by 3 seconds. So right now in the game, there is the ability to reset those mastery points so that we can play around with them, but mastery is not currently introduced, so it doesn't work. And I am getting a hiccup as I'm trying to speak. And then, of course, you've already seen me using the who command quite a bit, right? So we made a who all guild. This shows all members of our guild. We could also do a who guild. There's a difference between who all. Who guild shows me only the members of my guild that are enthroned fast. / who all guild shows me the members of all zones. So Avenger's Pass, Wild's End, Eastern Plains. So I've got guildmates everywhere. Noxian is online. He's a guildmate, but he is anonymous. He's being Batman. All right. And so that's your who commands. Those are your social commands. So there's a lot of different ways that we could be applying macros. Now, what are some practical applications? Well, let's do something very simple, but at the same time, very useful. So let's say that I want to buff my entire group with Whispers of Desire. Okay. This spell takes 2 seconds to cast. So this is a support cast, and we have a few different types of skills that we can cast. Let me find these right quick. So I'm going to take the utility ones off, and we're going to look at what are considered macro only commands. And so these are things like /technique, /use or use, and /utility. Now, the first 4 bars, I'm going to pop a little screenshot up for you right quick. The first 4 icons are your techniques. The next 6 icons are your support skills, oftentimes referred to as utility skills. And the larger bottom bar on my screen that has 9 buttons are your abilities. How you use each of these is that the /technique command works for the first 4, the /utility command works for the next 6, and the /use command works for the remaining 8. So let's put a /utility 4. What's going on, Scary Boy? We're recording a video for YouTube right now on how to do macros. And we're going to put target group member 1. And then we're going to do utility 4. And then I'm going to put a weight. Okay, weight 2. Then I'm going to do target group member 2. And I'm going to do utility 4. And I'm going to do weight 2. Okay, now there may be an issue with the GCD, so let's be a little bit safer. Let's put a weight of 3. Why are we going to put a weight of 3? Because it takes 2 seconds to cast this, and we might have to worry about the GCD. So let's test it. Let's see how this works, because we're doing it live. We're doing it live. All right, hold on. Group buff. We'll put lazy group buff, because I'm being lazy. This is the way to be lazy about this, all right? So, bam. Hold on. Target group member cannot be found. No, there it goes. Hang on. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Hang on. That should work. No, hang on. Did I do something wrong here? So half of it's working. There we go. So it targets me, buffs me, waits, then it targets him and buffs him. So I could put this to where it does every single person in my group, right? If I wanted to, I could extend this. We could do a little copy pasta action here. This is the block that I need, right? And so now we can do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if I push that button, it's literally going to go through and buff my entire group with Whispers of Desire in a single button click. Shamans, this macro's for you, lazy shamans. Cast all your buffs in a single click on everybody in your group. It's great. You could even have it where at the end of it, after doing all of this, your character sat down. So it's, this is another useful way to use your macros. All the different commands that are here. So that's the example of using a utility spell. That's this spell right here. We could do something similar if we wanted to with our techniques, right? If I wanted to cast a technique right here on this bar, let's say I wanted to cast Delayed Wound, I could put technique 3, use DW, okay? So use DW. So if I try to cast this right now, I don't have a target, but let's come back here. There should be a wolf. There's a fire beetle. So if I click this button, use DW, you can see it was just cast on there. And now I'm going to die to a Greycon mob that a level 1 could kill because I was not prepared. We're going to stab it. dead monsters all over the place. All right. So what else do we have? So we've got the use of techniques, the use of utility skills. There's the use of abilities. Okay. So it's not going to be much different, but let's say I wanted to do one of these abilities down here. Let's say I wanted to cast, we'll say I wanted to cast Lyrith's Calm. Okay. For this one, we're going to do /use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the 7th one. So we do 7. Let's make this a little more fun. So group, I am calming %T. Okay. So let's come over here. We've got a hatchling over here. Let's click this button. I am calming the fire beetle. It's casting. It's now calmed. We did it. Congratulations. So there's a lot of different ways to use macros. Macros are very much used in doing like pulling macros. Now, currently we've only been looking at %T. There are some additional commands. So let's come back to this lazy group buff for just a second. Let's modify it. Okay, I've got it going all the way through 6. Let's take it down to like, I don't know. Where's this at? 5, 4, 3. Okay, delete this. /sit. We're going to sit at the end of it now. Okay, and you know what? We're going to make it even better. We're going to make sure that before we click this button, we always stand up. And then when we target group member 1, we're going to say into the group, buffing %DT. I don't know if this works anymore. It used to, but we're going to check. This should be your defensive target with whispers. Okay. And we'll just take that and we'll put that after each TGM, we'll put that in. So here's the beauty of this macro right now. It doesn't matter who's in my group, right? So I'm sitting down. Hey, we need whispers chanter. You're being lazy. Okay. The stand command failed. Buffing Jadion. Now it's buffing Noxian. So I screwed it up a little bit. I screwed it up because I did a shift enter again. Shift enter is the bane of my existence. Let's try it one more time. So we stood up. We buffed Noxian. I should have done a wait. It's all good. You guys get the point. Oh, I think I did a shift enter right here as well. You got to watch those shift enters. Let's get rid of all targets. A delay would be helpful. You get the point. All right, what else is there? So there is /group. There is the /wait. You've already seen me using the /wait. Now the /wait does have other arguments that can be played into it. I don't use the other commands, but you could. There is /G, which is for group, /S and say, which are for speaking in say chat like this. Hi, /stand, /sit, TGM for target group member, target group member as the full, invite defensive target, invite. There's plenty of them. So there's a whole lot of commands we can do with macros. Okay, one of the things that I do with macros that you may or may not have seen before is I have a macro in place that as I run past people, I put in the chat, hello, adventurer. I can't type right now. And I do a /wave, right? So that would look something like this. Every time I run past somebody, I try to do a friendly hello, adventurer, and just wave and run by, right? When I put all my macros in place. But that should give a pretty good coverage of macros and in-game commands that you can currently use, how you might apply them, how you might put them into macro format for your usage. Now, before I wrap this video up, I'm going to go over here to Twitch chat and say, all right, Twitch, I don't know how many of you guys there are here, but there's a few of you. Do you have any questions about commands or macros that I did not answer in the video that I just did? This is y'all's chance. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes here that we can put additional stuff up for viewers on YouTube who are watching this at a later time or anything that I might have missed out on. That being said, YouTube, if you liked it, like it. If you'd like to see more like it, click that subscribe button, bell icon for notifications. And remember, I live stream all of this content on Twitch TV/Jadion77. So stop by, say hi, and I'll see you there. We're live right now. We'll be live every day that we can be, doing some Pantheon and other game action. That's it. There's a question. Is there a good list of different possible commands posted somewhere? Yes. And you'll find a link to that in the description of this video. So make sure you check out that list of commands. It's being brought to you by Shalazam, the Pantheon website. It's not my list of commands. I'm totally not taking credit for it. I believe it was posted by Simper, if I remember correctly. Yeah, posted by Simper, and it's been there for a while. Shalazam is an excellent website with a lot of useful information, including maps and other things. So definitely stop by there. It's a great resource. I'll link that for you guys in Twitch chat in just a minute. YouTube, that's it. We're out. Come see us on the stream. Thanks everybody for supporting the YouTube channel. We're over 2,000 members. Couldn't be more ecstatic about that. We're over 1,200 people on Twitch, but we could always use more coming and chatting with us. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. Laters.